Okay, Mr. Nedrow, the meeting is yours.
Okay, thank you, and good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the regular Village of Wolverine Lake virtual council meeting on Monday, November 9th to order. And please stand for the pledge of the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is the results from the November 3rd, 2020 election. So Tabitha, if you could.
I do. So Mr. Nedrow got 961 votes. Mr. McNutt got 946 votes. Mr. Giramini got 815 votes. So they each have a 4-year council term. Mr. O'Brien got 740 votes. So he has a 2-year council term.
And then there was 4 others that received votes, or 5 actually. There was unassigned write-ins that received some too. So I'd like to thank everybody for running. We haven't had this many people run for a council seat in a long time, so that was pretty good. And at this point, I'd also like to thank Ed Sienkiewicz, Walt York, and John Scott for their service previous year to the village. So thanks, guys. I mentioned that last month, and I'd like to just reaffirm again this month. So with that, swearing in of council members.
All 4 of the newly elected council members came into Village Hall last week and were formally sworn in by myself with Mike as witness. So everyone has sworn in and signed the oath book and is ready to participate in tonight's meeting.
Okay. Incidentally, tonight's meeting is a regular council meeting, and there was some question from some people that we did some charter amendments back in 2018. And that basically one of the charter amendments mentioned that council meetings would be held, regular council meetings after the election, the regular Wednesday after the election instead of the Monday like we are. But that will not take effect until 2022. Is that correct, Jennifer?
Correct. And
So-
Mike Conduct had asked me a couple questions earlier today, and I kind of spelled out for him the history of how that happened. The charter amendment resolution kind of got piecemealed together because of some input from the Attorney General's office. But the ballot question that was on the ballot was correct and accurate and legally noticed. So,
Yeah, so we're performing correctly tonight. So
yes. So what I did want to advise you to do though is because of this weird virtual world we're living in right now, you did your swearing in ceremony at the office as opposed to like you normally would do at your meeting. And because your swearing ins already occurred, it would be appropriate for you to have a motion to ratify those swearing ins and accept them as the swearing in ceremony for this election.
okay, so when would that be appropriate, after roll call then?
You can do that right now even.
Okay.
So moved.
Motion by Dumont. I hear a second. Second by Mr. Duff. Any discussion? Roll call vote to ratify, please.
Here it goes. Dumont,
Yes.
Sienkiewicz,
Oh, Sienkiewicz isn't here.
no. Oh. Okay, I don't have a list. I'm sorry. I apologize for who's on and who's not.
Okay, why don't I call him then at this point? Giramini,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
Newman, or nope, sorry, O'Brien,
Yes.
Malik. He's on mute. Malik?
Yes,
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Duff,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
and
Again.
myself, yes. Okay. And also right now, before we move on the agenda, I'd like to welcome Bill O'Brien and Mike McNutt and Mark Giormini on the council here. And we have Senator Jim Runstead on the phone with us here. And I would like to pass it off to him for a couple comments, I guess. So Senator Runstead, thanks for joining us here this evening. If you can hear us.
Looks like he's on mute.
There he is.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Yeah, I just wanted to recognize the longstanding contributions of Ed Sinkowitz and Walter York, and also congratulate the newly elected council members, Dr. Michael McNutt and Mark Giormini, and finally Bill O'Brien to the council. And congratulations, and I know you're going to make a great contribution to Wolverine.
And John Scott was in there also, his contribution for many years.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, John Scott as well.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, and appreciate the job you're doing at the state level there.
Thank you. And if anyone needs anything from my office, I have the busiest but the best staff in Lansing, I absolutely believe, and don't hesitate to reach out, and we will certainly do everything we can to get back to you and make a difference.
Okay, thank you. Anything else you'd like to mention tonight?
Well, there's just a lot of, I guess, ongoing repercussions from the election season and trying to find out how we can do things better. There was some things that certainly could have been improved. And so I know there's a couple of committees, one in the House and one in the Senate, looking at how to make things much better. So that's ongoing. They met on Saturday, and I'm sure they're going to continue to meet, and hopefully we'll get some good recommendations.
Okay. Well, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Good night. Okay, moving on to the election of council officers. First up is election of council president for a 2-year term.
We need to do an official roll call, please.
Oh, so I'm sorry. Jumping ahead already. Okay, roll call, please.
Nedrow,
Yes, here.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
Yes, here.
McNutt,
Here.
O'Brien,
Here.
Giormini,
Here.
Dumont.
Yes.
Did I miss anybody?
Nope, that's everybody.
Thank you.
Hey, now we're moving on to election of council president for a 2-year term.
Mr. President, Robert Malik here. I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that we elect Brian Nedrow as our village council president for the next 2 years.
That was a motion by Malik.
Second.
That was a second by, who was that? Duff or?
McNutt.
I mean,
Not, I'm sorry. Yeah, maybe because this is virtual, it's hard to see, guys. So
Yeah.
maybe you could, if we do have a second or a motion, maybe you could also, by audio, just let me know who it is.
Yep.
So
Dumont.
thank you, Mr. McNutt. Any discussion? Okay,
Well, I have a question.
yes.
Is there anybody else that's wants to nominate someone else? This is Malik.
I can hear you. Yep.
Okay, I call for the vote.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Duff,
yes.
Malik,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Giormini,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Nedrow.
Yes. And I'm honored to serve again for another 2-year term, so thank you.
Well, Brian, Bob Malik here. Thanks for accepting.
Okay. Next up is election of council president pro tem.
Mr. President, I'd like to nominate David Dumont as President Pro Tem.
Okay, that's a
This is Mark
motion by Jeremini. I hear a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. McNutt. Is there anybody else?
I'd like to make a motion also to have Mr. Duff as the president pro tem.
Okay, that's a motion by Mr. Malik.
Jennifer, is that a thing?
Sorry. You already have a motion.
We already have a
and
motion, so we
second.
should,
So you have to vote on that first.
yeah.
And
Okay.
then-
What we really should have been doing, we should be nominating before we motion.
Right.
Yeah, so you have a motion and a second on the table, so you'll have to vote on that.
Okay. Well, we have a motion, so let's roll call vote on the first motion, I guess.
Malik,
No,
McNutt,
Yes.
O'Brien,
No.
Jeremini,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Nedrow,
No.
Duff.
No.
So I believe that is,
What was that vote?
see, we had a yes for
that
Jeremy.
failed.
Yeah.
Did that vote fail?
Yes,
Okay,
but
so
it failed.
so now you could do another motion.
Okay, Bob Malachir, I make a motion to elect Mark Duff as the president pro tem.
Okay, that's motion by Malik. Do I have a second? And I would second that motion. Any discussion? Okay, roll call vote on that. That's Mr. Duff.
McNutt,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Jeremini,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Nedrow,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
Yes,
Okay, I'm assuming, Mark, you'd like to serve in that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Motion passes and we have president and pro tem. So additions to business, do we have any additions to business, anybody? Mr. Conduct, any additions to business?
No, sir.
Okay. We'll move on to the approval of the agenda. as
So moved.
presented. That was a motion by Duff, I believe. We have a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dumont. Any discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Brian,
Here.
Jeremini,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Nedrow,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
yes,
McNutt,
Yes.
Okay, I had to almost catch myself there. I heard Brian and I almost said yes. That's gonna be a problem. Let's see, going to correspondence and information. I don't believe we have any correspondence tonight, so we'll bypass that and move on to call to the public.
If any members of the public would like to address the council, they can raise their hand by pressing *9 on their phone. Actually, I don't see any. There are no phone callers in. Mr. Malik, I just got word that the security has been reset for the meeting. So if you want to try logging back in on your iPad.
all right, I'll give it my best shot right now.
Okay. But we don't have any phone callers right now for the call to the public.
Okay, very good. With that, we'll bypass the call to the public tonight. So moving on to consideration of approving the following consent agenda, of which we
moved.
have regular council minutes, warrants, receive and file written reports from the boards of commissioners and police department. So that was a motion by Mr. Duff, I believe.
Yep.
Do we hear a second?
Second.
Second, that was a tie
I
between
believe that was Dumont.
Giramini and Dumont, and we'll give it to, I think Dumont was a quarter of a second faster, so we'll give it to him. So, any discussion as far as consent agenda goes?
Yes. I'd like to hold out the water board minutes. I have some discussion there because of our minutes from our last meeting where we appropriated money for a transponder.
Mm-hmm.
And they're asking for more than we allocated in their minutes, so.
Okay.
So do you have a problem with the minutes themselves, or is it the minutes that you're not approving of?
Well, I want to discuss the fact that, in our meeting, we allocated X amount of dollars, and they're asking for a couple $100 more than we said in our motion.
But this really
So
isn't
I don't
the time
know.
to, yeah, that's
The
really
only
not the
reason
time to say that.
to bring it out for discussion.
So you would only remove the minutes if you did not approve of something about those minutes.
Point of
If it's
order.
an issue that you
Water,
want.
the water board minutes are not part of the consent agenda. They are given to council as a courtesy.
Oh, that's right,
They
yeah.
haven't been approved by the water board as of yet. So water board minutes are not part of consent, and any discussion about anything on the water board minutes possibly should have been in addition to business.
Okay, that
Oh.
makes sense.
All right, that's fine. Then I guess I withdraw that,
Okay.
whatever
I guess,
works.
Bob, I guess, Bob, but the best thing to do would be to go to the next water board meeting, have some discussion as far as that goes.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
With that, we'll finish the roll call vote for the consent agenda, please.
Giramini,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Nedrow,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Moving on, presentations, recommendation and updates from engineer Mike Powell. First up is the Benstein Pathway. Mr. Powell? Uh-oh.
Thanks to Mr. O'Brien and Dr. Mike and Mark for joining the council, and I'm looking forward to working with you and for you. So thank you. So the Benstein's Pathway, if you've had an opportunity to get out and see it, the curbing has been cut to be able to allow for the handicap access through the driveways and through Apple Orchard. And then last week, the asphalt has been put down. And so we finally have a hard path all the way from Clara Miller Park to the Dairy Twist. And if council remembers, and you new members to council might not know, we had the pathway designed to go all the way to Glengarry Road. Unfortunately, the Road Commission for Oakland County, if we were to tie into Glengarry Road, they were requiring us to put in a $31,000 pedestrian signal that crosses that roadway. And that wasn't even close to being in the budget. So we've stopped that pathway short, and we've ended it at the entrance to the Dairy Twist entry there off of Benstein Road. It is usable now, and the painting of the cross hatching of the entrance drives and the roadway will be done this Thursday. So it'll be virtually complete except for the backfilling of the pathway and the restoration. Since it's so late in the year, we don't want to make any bigger mess. So we'll probably do a little cleanup, but wait until spring to be able to seed and mulch along the side of the pathway. If council has any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Well, that's been a long time coming. I'm glad to see it finally in place.
Yes.
Just curious on, as far as, we've got two payment requests here for the project there. And so we're, Mike, just out of curiosity, where do we come in as far as budget goes versus what we had allocated originally? Because it's been
Well,
quite a while.
Yeah, it has been quite a while. The monies that we are allocating or that I'm asking for tonight are within budget. We are going to be over budget slightly, and I'll be working with Mr. Kondak for the next meeting in December. JJM Backhoe Services has always been the contractor that was going to do the base and the preparation for the earthwork that was done, the filling and the cutting and the preparation of the pathway area for the asphalt. And so he's a local contractor, and he received nothing but compliments from the paving contractor. He did an excellent job. And so therefore, well, let me go to HG Sarter then. HG Sarter then is the paving contractor. He coordinated the saw cutting of the curbing, and then he had to rent a special machine. If council remembers, this was going to be an 8-foot wide pathway. But the owners of the properties along Benstein Road did not allow us to push that pathway far enough off Benstein Road. We were looking for about a 10-foot easement from all those property owners there. And since they decided not to work with the village, we had to shrink the width of the pathway to only 6 feet wide in front of those residents and the commercial center there. The road commission has a requirement that we stay at least 2 feet away from the curbing. And so therefore, that additional 2 feet was obtained by us shrinking the pathway by 2 feet. And so it's only 6 feet wide. So he had to rent a special machine that would go that small. This is only half of the expected billings from HG Sarter. I wanted to at least get something into him since he put most of the material in place. And this will allow him to at least pay back his subcontractors and his contractors and materials. So my request, if council agrees, is to pay JJM Backhoe Services.
So moved.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that was motion by Dumont.
I'll second that.
JJ Backhoe Services for amount of $6,077.94. I believe that was a second by Mr. Duff. Any further discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Mont,
Yes.
Nedrow,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Jeremy.
Yes.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we pay HG Sarter the $17,992.50 requested.
That was a motion by Duff. Second by Dumont. Any discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Nedrow,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Dumont.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else to add? Let's see, we got the Clara Miller Park restroom update too, Mike.
Yes, this is a very simple one. Hopefully, again, council's been out to take a look at this restroom expansion. The foundation is installed. All the block is installed for all the walls. You'll see that the 6 to 7 foot high door, 6 foot wide, 7 foot high doorway is in for the access to the building, as well as the previously approved roll-up door for the counter, the serving counter, then that will be along the west face. I think that was a great addition council approved, and will go a long way in helping the Park and Rec. I wanted to point out just a couple things. If you probably wouldn't notice, but we struck a deal with the contractor because he didn't have to bring in any more sand. We actually made the building 2 blocks higher inside, so there's more headroom than what was originally proposed. Otherwise, he would have had to bring in sand. So instead of bringing in sand for the bringing that finished floor up, we've made a drop of 2 block, and that way we have much higher head clearance and more storage room in that building, more volume than what was originally proposed.
Nice.
An item that I had to bring up to council. If you recall, council, the drinking fountain was going to go just to the left or just to the north side of the entrance roll-up door. Since council did approve that service doorway, we have now moved the drinking fountain around to the front side or the north face of the building. So it'll go right on the block wall, and we're going to be plumbing through the ladies' portion of the restroom there and having the drinking fountain now serviced right from the front of the building instead of around the side of the building. So that roll-up door took the place of the of where the drinking fountain was originally proposed. The trusses have been delivered. So in the next week, I believe you'll see the carpenters started on that building. The intent is to get it totally enclosed before snow flies. The painting probably won't be done unless we get another Indian summer until next spring. But we're going to have this building open and ready for business in the spring this next year. I would like maybe some discussion. I've made kind of a decision, but it hasn't been given to the contractor yet. We have the ability to purchase the doorways on the new building in various colors. I have proposed that we buy the blue. We have the contractor order the blue doors that would match the offset colors elsewhere on the building. And I just wanted to make sure council was okay with that.
Blue is good.
Yeah.
I
Very
think
good.
that'd be fine.
I hate to design by committee because that's always dangerous, but I appreciate that.
As long as it's close to the village blue, sure.
All right, we'll do our best.
And
Mike,
Mike,
is that Honolulu blue or ocean blue?
as far away from Honolulu blue as we possibly can. So white, I think, would be our offset color if we can't match the blue.
Village blue.
may I ask Michael Powell?
Yes, sir.
That 3-inch PVC, is that what would be conduit to a incoming water line in the future?
Yes, that 3-inch PVC pipe will be cut off. That'll be dug all the way down to the bottom of the footing. That conduit goes through the footing. It'll be extended out past the sidewalk. There's going to be a 3-foot, 4-foot sidewalk along that side of the building, and that'll be extending out past that so we can slip our water line through it.
Great.
Great.
Yep, long time coming.
Yeah. Any other questions on that update? No, seeing none.
Thank you, Council.
Yeah, Mike,
Thanks,
is there anything else as far as the McCoy Pond that we are still working on yet?
Yeah, we're still working on getting the approvals from the mortgage company and the remortgage of the home. Otherwise, our contractors are all set, and they tell us it'll take us about a week to fill that thing once we have the paperwork signed.
Okay, we'll keep waiting, I guess.
Thank you, Council.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Moving on to board appointments. Recommendation for council to appoint, this is from the Planning Commission. Recommendation for council to appoint James Clark as Planning Commission liaison to Parks and Rec Board for 2021. And also, well, why don't we do all three of these the same motion, if that's okay?
That's fine.
Recommendation council appoint Kathy Moretto as Planning Commission liaison to the Zoning Board of Appeals for 2021, and recommendation for council to appoint Paul Snyder as Planning Commission to the Water Management Board for 2021. So I believe that was a motion by Mr. Dumont or Mr. Duff. And do we hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Dumont. Any discussion on that? Okay, roll call, please.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Giramini,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Nedrow.
Yes. Okay, thank you. We have no public hearings. As far as new business, Organizational items, we have to set the meeting day, time, location, which is the second Wednesday of each month at 7 PM for our regular council meetings, fourth Wednesday of each month at 7 PM for our work sessions. To be held in council chambers if it's not virtual, I guess, and goodness only knows if we'll ever be back down there.
You need a motion for that?
Probably not this year, but probably next year.
All right.
Yeah, we do.
I'll make a motion.
That was a motion by Duff, second by Dumont, I believe. Roll call, please.
Can we have some discussion?
Sure.
Well, the only question I have, you're assigning the second Wednesday as the council meeting, and then fourth Wednesday of each month for a work session.
Right.
I think that should read in that motion if required. It's not an automatic that we have a work session.
So you set your scheduled meetings at the beginning of the year, and that would include all your work meetings, meaning your regular meetings and your work sessions, because those are simply a different type of open meeting. So you set that schedule at the beginning of the year. That way you only have to cancel the meeting if you're not going to conduct it. Otherwise, you would need to individually post every one of those meetings.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
That's why we end up, if we don't have a meeting or for a work session, that's why we end up canceling at the regular council meeting before that work session. So,
Well, and if we have any audience, they learned something new. So thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to roll call vote, please.
Malik,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Jeremini,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Nedrow,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
And then why don't we just take the next three? I think we could probably take the next three,
Sure, I'll make a motion.
lump those together. So we're adopting order of business as Robert's Rules of Order. We're going to designate the Spinal Column as our official newspaper, and then designate signatories to the village funds, which are, I believe, would be Mr. Condek. Is that correct, Mike? And
Yeah, me and Tabitha
You and
on
Tabitha.
the administrative side, and then the president, you, and the new pro tem, Mark.
right. So
I believe we should include the new administrator, Mr. Gillum. as a
that would make
signator
sense too.
because
Yes,
he will be joining us before the next meeting.
correct.
Sure.
Would you agree, Mike Condek?
Not necessarily, but go for it.
Did you want to amend that later? We don't have to.
No,
We could change it, I guess, at a later date after he's on,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Okay, I'll
Well, let's
rescind.
just go with the four without Mr. Gillum at this point. So that was a motion by Duff, I believe. Second by
I
Mr.
second
Dumont.
it.
I think Dave beat you, Bob.
All right, that's fine.
He already had his fingers up. I'm looking.
I don't know. I don't have that luxury. I'm
I
still
know,
not
yeah,
online.
yeah. Okay, any discussion on that motion? Okay, roll call, please.
McNutt,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Jeremini,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Nedrow,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
Yes.
Okay, moving on to second reading of, we've got four ordinances here that we actually introduced and had the first reading on last month for the guys that weren't here. So this is actually the second meeting, and then we have a choice to adopt those ordinances if we choose at this
Can we
meeting.
bundle them?
Mr. President, can we do all four of those with one motion, or do we have to do that as individual?
I think we could probably do all four of them unless somebody has a problem with one of them. so.
I see
So-
Jennifer wanting to chime in.
This
I
allows
think you should do them separately.
Do them
just
separate?
Because,
Okay.
yeah, because
Okay.
they're all different subject matters, so you should.
Yeah,
do
that
them
probably
separate.
makes sense.
No
Okay.
problem.
So first off, we have ordinance 106A113, which is to amend commercial, basically parking of commercial vehicles in the village. So
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, that was a
Malik.
motion by Duff. That the second I did not catch.
Bob Malik.
Okay, thanks, Bob.
You're
Any,
welcome.
any discussion on that? Okay, well, essentially what we did is we're allowing commercial vehicles less than 10,000 pounds to be parked in the village. You know, maybe like a Comcast van or something like that, or somebody has a smaller car or something that is a company-owned vehicle, has DTE on it or whatever. So in any case, that's what that's about. So roll call vote on that, please.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Girarmini,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Nedrow,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
Okay, next ordinance is 106A-114. And essentially this is basically just updating the definition for commercial vehicles in the definition
Motion.
section of our ordinances. So
So moved.
that was a motion by Duff,
Second.
second by Dumont. Any discussion on that? Okay, roll call, please.
Girarmini,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Nedrow,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Okay, third one is ordinance 106A-115, which is amending chapter 1270 for fences, arbors, and trellises. So what we did on this is we are allowing a 6-foot high side yard fence.
So
So
moved.
it's done
Second.
for. So that was a motion by Duff, second by
Second.
Dumont. Any discussion on that one?
So that's on the roadside or is that on the lakeside?
It's on any side. It's
Okay.
actually the side yard of a house.
Okay.
Yes.
So
And
side
it's-
yard only. So,
And it actually was one of the things that came in front of zoning quite often.
Right.
So it was a needed change. Let's put it that way.
Okay. And because people wanted it taller, I assume?
it would, yeah, we were 4 feet in height was our restrictions before. So
A lot
we're
of it, came down to you had people that had existing structures that had rotted or they needed to be fixed, and ultimately fixing something that's already dilapidated is not practical. So replacing them, and then they get into the issue they're out of ordinance.
Okay.
So you're allowed to have a 6 foot in the rear yard. So this is just allowing the 6 foot to
Yep.
carry onto the side of the house.
Okay.
So that's what it's all about. Roll call, please.
Dumont,
Yes.
Nedrow,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Girarmini.
Yes.
Okay, last one is ordinance 106A-116, which is we're amending the site design regulations for buffers, landscape buffers in between like a commercial or village property to residential property. So this happens to be one of the things is over on Amelia Park, the residents right next door to the park there, they wanted to put a privacy fence up there. So this was just allowing a 6 foot privacy fence to because that was not previously allowed in the site design regulations that we'd had on planning for a long time. So
So moved.
Second,
motion by Duff, second by
Girarmini.
Girarmini. All right. Any discussion on that one?
Is that specific to that plot?
No,
No.
no, it's not. And I believe that there was a couple other instances too. I can't remember right off the bat.
Yeah, there's been 4 or 5 of them, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So this was another one of those that came up a couple times here, and it made some sense to relax those regulations. So
What do you think, Mark Duff?
In terms of,
Allowing a fence that tall there.
So again, it's one of the things that it helps people out. It doesn't really, there's no injurious part to it. Why wouldn't we amend our stuff to make it work for everybody?
Okay.
Gives residents privacy from, commercial use, so a little bit more,
Exactly.
so.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. I mean, that's what you do, so that's why I ask.
Yep, not a problem.
Okay, so roll call vote on that one, please.
Nedrow,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next item is council committee assignments. So currently, we have admin committee, which I was the only one left on, besides our administrator. Mr. Senkowitz and Mr. Scott were on that before. So we've got 2 openings on that. And admin committee, it's really good to have some people on that committee that have some history on council.
Mr. President, I volunteer to be on that committee.
Yeah, I'll join it too.
I'll also be interested. Bob
Okay.
Malik.
So we've got 3 with 2 spots to fill.
If
So,
Bob wants it, let him go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, wait a minute. That doesn't sound right. Let them go.
Yeah. Well, I've seen you go. That's why I know that was a good thing.
Okay, so I'm basically hearing consensus that admin committee will be made up of myself, Bob Malik, Mark Duff, and our administrator then. Is that correct?
Yep.
I don't believe we need roll call votes for any of these right now at this point. Can we just agree on this and then we can vote on it afterwards? Does that sound fair, Jennifer?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Good.
Yes, you
I don't
can just, I think what you normally do is go through each one of these and decide who
Right.
to be on there, and then you adopt your council committee assignments as one.
Right, that's what I was suggesting. Yep.
Yeah.
So, okay, next item is, we'll go Gypsy Moth Committee. That was our administrator, and Bob Malik was on there before. Bob, would you still like to remain on the Gypsy Moth Committee?
No.
Uh-oh, turmoil. Anybody want to volunteer for the Gypsy Moth Committee? Because I don't know, did you even have a meeting?
What the hell? Excuse me. What the heck does a gypsy moth look like?
They're the ones that make
I've
those
never-
big cocoons over the trees, Bob.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, in 15 plus years, I've never seen one. I've never had a meeting for one. So, as far as I'm concerned, no, I don't want any part of them.
Do we even
Count
really
yourself
have to have a
lucky.
Gypsy Moth Committee anymore?
They are invasive.
Well, somebody want to volunteer to be on it?
Dave, that's screaming to you, man.
What do you think, Mr. Dumont?
All right. Brian, let me ask you a question.
Yes,
How many committees can one be on?
as many as they want to be on.
Fine, then you know what? Sign me back up for the Gypsy Moth Committee because I have nothing to do there, and we haven't had a meeting ever since I've been here. So yeah, I'll take it again.
Thank you, Bob.
Bob, you better knock on some wood somewheres.
You just solved a major log jam on the committee assignments here, so appreciate it.
Yeah, I can tell.
Next, Lake Improvement Board. Previously, we had Ed Sinkowitz, Walt York, and Mike Sargent, who was the Water Board Chair. I'm assuming that Mike Hirsch, who is going to be taking the new Water Board Chair over, hopefully would like to be on that. And I don't know if really what the Lake Improvement Board does with the Water Board anyways. I know they were on there at some point in the past.
Hey, Brian, if I remember correctly, that had a lot to do with when we had the aerator experiment going on.
Yeah, Mark, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Do we need that board? I mean, can we?
Dissolve it into
can we dissolve it?
The
I
water
guess is
board?
what I'm saying.
Basically, the water board's taking care of it.
I
Yeah.
actually think that board got set up years and years and years ago when you had an issue with a drain or a dam or something, and you were statutorily required to set up that board. Now, I don't know if that requirement still exists. We could look into
Jennifer, can we dissolve that board just to make things cleaner?
I'll have to look into that for you because I'm not sure why I can't recall. This is literally something from probably.
I can't remember either, and I don't ever remember it meeting either, so.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'll volunteer for it. I don't have an issue
Well,
with it.
In the meantime, we can also make sure it's on the next water board agenda, and the new chairperson will be representing the water board. So
Right.
we can set it up in the meantime.
So why don't we do our due diligence this month on that, and then we can,
Yeah.
if we need to continue it, we can elect members next month for that, or otherwise we can dissolve it.
So move it back a month for appointments and
Just on
have
the Lake
Jennifer
Improvement Board if we even need
look
to.
into it. Right?
Does that sound fair?
Just on the Lake Improvement Board.
Right.
Yes.
Sounds fair to me. Liaison to the Water Management Board. John Scott.
I'd
was
like
on
to
that.
get on that board, Mr. President. Bob Malik.
Second, to move Bob Malik to liaison to the Water Management Board.
Well, I think, Bob, you've been around, so you know what's going on, but it would be nice to have somebody off the lake too that would be on that board. So,
Well, again, I've been on a lot of boards over all the years. That's one I've never been involved in. And I think I owe it to myself and the community to look into it and hopefully be a active participant.
okay.
Perfect.
Anybody else have any problems with that? Okay, seeing none, you're on the Liaison to the Water Management Board.
Boy, that was too easy.
He's on the
Nothing is
Parks
easy
and Rec.
for you, Bob.
He's on Parks and Rec. I'm assuming, Mark,
Yes,
you,
sir.
Giormini, you would like to serve on that?
Yes, sir. I would very much so.
Okay, just since we're on the subject of Parks and Rec, who's our new chair? Do we have one?
They will determine that at their next meeting.
Okay,
So
Yeah, their meeting's not till next week.
okay.
Mark Giamini will be the liaison though, right? I'm stepping back.
That's what we're
correct?
talking about at this point, Dave. I
Yeah,
think,
I know, but I want to make it clear.
yep, you're right. That's good clarification there. So, no, that makes sense. Okay. Liaison to Zoning Board of Appeals, Mr. Duff, do you still want to serve in that capacity?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay.
Yep.
Planning Commission liaison, I'll still serve on that unless somebody really wants to get onto it. Any takers? Okay, seeing none, I guess I'm still on planning. Michigan Municipal League, which was our administrator, I think we can probably leave our administrator on as MML coordinator. Lakes Area Youth Assistance. I know, Bob, you were on that and you probably didn't have to do a whole lot because Mr. Scott was on it and he did an awful lot with it.
Right.
But we've been very involved with Lakes Area Youth Assistance over the years, and so it's that's a great board or great.
I think O'Brien is raising his hand for that one there.
Yeah.
Andrew.
Bill, would you?
Yeah, I can
join
do
up
that.
for that one?
Sure.
What about Dr. McNutt? Any possibility to be a alternate or something
What, on this one?
on Lakes Area Youth Assistance?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yep.
And you guys can make up what you want on it, but I know they meet probably don't they meet midday generally at noon? In
Been
Walled
a
Lake?
long time since I've
On
seen.
weekdays?
Yeah, they do.
I work in
Clarkston.
Yeah.
I'll never be able to make it.
Well, right now, I know probably
all
have
virtual
Zoom
now.
meetings.
It's all virtual right now.
It's all virtual, yeah.
Yeah. Well, while it's virtual, I can do it.
Well, I guess we've got a couple here, so what about you, Mr. McNutt? That be an issue? I think they meet on Wednesdays, isn't it, Tabitha?
Yes, it is Wednesday.
Yeah.
Or John? Yeah, yeah.
If it's Wednesdays at noon, absolutely. If it's midday like that. we can
Okay,
do it.
well, you guys can tag team it if you want to. I mean,
Yeah.
it's once a month, I believe, so.
Yeah. And if I can call in, that's good too.
Okay, that'd be great. Okay, guys. So we got Mr. McNutt and Mr. O'Brien on that one. Pathway Committee. Dave Dumont was on that as chair.
So we have never met.
I know you tried to get things going. It's
I
difficult.
did try.
It's a difficult subject, but
I was shot down. Actually, I didn't even get a second on the idea of investigating the South Commerce Pathway. But if there isn't any interest in that pathway.
not yet. Not yet there isn't, but there, I mean, there's been a lot of interest over the years. It's just a matter of logistics.
I've been to SEMCOG. I talk, they say yes. Well, those that are in the path jurisdiction, I don't know. But I don't know what it's called. Yeah, laugh.
I know what you're saying. So
Yeah, they were willing to jump in, and it was because
it's funding.
It's funding.
it's
Yeah.
coordination too. It's a mess to get that done.
Yep.
That doesn't mean it can't get done.
Okay, so we're still gonna have a committee. I think that would be prudent to have that. So,
Yeah, I mean, unless nobody wants it in Wolverine Lake, but it seems like that pathway
well, it'll be
connects
passed
everything.
around. So why don't we keep the committee? We just need to figure out who's on it. So, Marcy Lehman was our citizen rep on it before. We had Diane Bregovich from Parks and Rec. I don't know. Mark
Sure, I'll
Giovini,
jump
would
on
you
it. Sure thing.
sign you up for that?
Absolutely.
Great. I don't know if Linda's still on Commerce Parks and Rec, Linda Champagne, but I know
She
they're
is
going to be
for
moving
now.
eventually. She is still?
Still is, yeah.
Okay, so we'll keep her on that. I'm sure that would be fine with her at this point. And Scott Leibold we had on there, and I think he's out of the village, isn't he? I believe that's correct. So,
Yeah, he may be.
but I think that's probably a good amount so far. SEMCOG, David Dumont and I were on that. So, Dave, want to continue?
Sure.
And I'll continue. I haven't done really a whole lot on that, so I need to get involved more with that, but I will try as time permits here. So, negotiating committee, that was Ed, Mark Duff, and myself.
I'd be interested, Mr. President, Bob Malik.
David Dumont.
I'll stay on it.
Mark will stay on it. I'd like to stay on it.
Yeah, I have interest.
Who was that?
Mr. President, Bob Malik, I'm
Bob
interested.
Malik did. I know that. I think Dave was raising his hand,
And Mike McNutt.
and Mr. McNutt was.
Yeah, I have interest, so.
Okay, so.
This is something I'm pretty sure I was in line for second, I should say. So
Yep, well, yep, so we got 3 people vying for 1 spot.
Well, I tell the other 2 to back off. I want it.
all right, I'm out. David Dumont out.
Okay,
That's fine. He's got the enthusiasm. Let him have it.
Yeah, I'm not messing with him.
okay, well, I know he's got time, so. With that, I guess we'll have Bob, Mark, and myself on negotiating. Police Hiring Board was Chief John Ellsworth and our administrator, and I think that's probably fine the way it is. Park Capital Approval Board. John Scott was on that. Dave Dumont, Parks and Rec Chair, Administrator, and Treasurer Conduct.
And Mr. President, I would recommend Bill O'Brien if he's interested in that. He's a finance guy.
I was gonna say, as long as they meet in the evening, I can do that.
Yeah, if they met once in my in the
I was
last
gonna
2
say,
years.
that's not
so
really,
Not a
most,
big.
most of it usually just comes through Parks and Rec anyways, right, Mark?
Yeah, generally.
Yeah, and here's something controversial. Do we need that committee?
Guess I really don't know at this point.
Okay, that's good because I feel that things could get done quicker, more efficiently if we eliminated that board. And I'm a part of that board, so
I think that board's another layer of filter from people trying just to spend money that they're not authorized to spend.
and that could be, but I don't know how it was set up. And I'm guessing that wasn't the precursor to that board, was that there was extra money spending, so we should spend more time on people.
I think Mr. Condit might have.
I was gonna say, Mr.
some
Condit,
idea,
do you have any
perhaps.
comments?
Yeah, the committee arose during a time when we were trying to put together a capital improvement program. Of course, that entails various things from different departments. But the idea was to prioritize the capital budgeting wants, if you will. In that, well, I can tell you, I can report to you that our application for a grant kind of crashed and burned. We didn't get a very good score at all. However, with the adoption of a new master plan, recreation master plan, park and recreation master plan, I think we're going to be in a lot better shape when we make application this year. Now, the question will be, what sort of things will be recommended? And it kind of goes back to what you were just saying, David and Mark, the idea that who makes those decisions, who prioritizes those, who's going to provide the input into the specific kind of things that that might be desired in the park. If you think the existing Park and Recreation Board is fine doing that, then I agree. The Park Capital Committee did not meet with any regularity at all. And I think not, maybe back in the day when, I can't think of her name right now, but she was the chair and we
Lynn
had some
Lewis?
priority. Sorry?
Lynn Lewis?
Her. You know, we were thinking about a gazebo and the part of the park where exercise equipment is. Nothing ever got off the ground, and I'm not sure why. Nothing ever got off the ground as far as a park.
I can answer that. Mike, I can actually answer that because I was on I was liaison for Parks and Rec and on that committee. And it was merely that we were trying to finish the master plan off. That was what the holdup was. And she moved out of the village before that was all finalized.
So then, is there a rationale, do you think, for keeping it? Given what I just said about the upcoming, a reapplication process of some sort.
I think it's a good idea to keep it.
Okay.
And Mark, I care about you plenty, but I'd like to move to actually eliminate a board that I'm on because I think it's redundant. And I know it doesn't make sense on the front end, but if you think about it, we need to have our boards able to make decisions, even though they're volunteers.
Well, they can't make decisions. That's part of that. They're not able to make decisions. That's what the council is for, and that's why you have a board of people from that board and council people to then make full recommendations to the council to vote on.
Well, the other thing is too on there.
If I understand that, I'm saying it seems like an extra layer that it's it's maybe useless, or are you saying that it filters stupid ideas down to where then the layman can accept them and through
not at all. I would say more frivolous spending than anything else.
Frivolous. Okay.
Well, I think too, because you have administrator and our treasurer on there, then it interjects some of the monetary responsibility on it. So I agree from that aspect. It probably makes sense to still continue that committee.
Okay.
And even if it does only meet incidentally, I mean, we do have the park master plan, and we've got Clara Miller master plan also. But
And hopefully going forward, that we do have items that we get grants for, and we move forward with large capital projects. I mean, that's the
Exactly,
whole intent of what we did with the master plan. That was fairly intensive.
okay.
Yeah, good point, Mark. And
That being the case-
we need to keep moving forward with our grant applications.
So I agree with the Parks and Rec chair, the administrator, treasurer conduct being on there. And I would think that Mark Giormini would probably want to be on that.
Yes, sir.
And anybody else? Dave Dumont, you still want to remain? Dave, you still want to remain on that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we're all set there. It'd be Giormini, Dumont, Parks and Rec chair, administrator, and treasurer conduct at this point. Okay, Veterans Memorial Committee. Mark?
Yes, sir.
We have, I mean, John Scott's going to be off of that. Are we, I'm assuming, boy, that thing really looks great. I mean, you guys have done a bang up job of getting that in place. That's going to be very nice next spring. So basically, are we going to keep the same people on there?
Yeah, the same people are going to be on there. I think John Scott may join as just a regular member, in fact. But I'd like to continue on as the liaison.
Okay, so we'll have council representation on that board, which is important, I think, so.
That's great. It's a pain in the butt, and thank you, Mark.
It's been phenomenally rewarding once it got put down and built and seeing it.
Oh, yeah, it's
flying
very nice little project. So
It's been rewarding to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, kudos for that whole project.
Mr. President, Lori Long is still a Park and Rec board member, so the Park and Rec is represented that way.
Right, exactly. Yep. So I think we're good that way. Western Oakland County Road and Bike Path. I guess I really don't know what the heck the difference is between that and the Pathway Committee.
Well, I'll hop onto it if I'm already on the Pathway Committee then.
Okay, well, I think we could probably have our administrator, Mark Giormini on it. Dave Dumont was on it and Diane Brekovich was still on it, so.
Yes, we never had a meeting. But I also noticed that at a council level, there was no way to get a path up South Commerce.
Well, I guess I don't know what the
I
difference
didn't even
is.
get a second on it, so, I mean, if we can't get that done, then, oh well.
Well, there's been a lot of changes too. So with the pathways being done in commerce and everything, so
there
might be some revitalized need for this entity.
Yeah, basically it's kind of like the Airline Trail Committee, I guess. So that'll go as such then. Phase 2 subcommittee, there was myself, Walt York and John Scott were on there, so we need 2 more. And phase 2 is basically for water runoff and environmental stuff. That was
I'll volunteer for that one.
That was
I'll
big.
volunteer for that one too.
Okay, Bill. Good deal. And Duff. So O'Brien, Duff, and myself, and we've, I don't think we've had a meeting for like 15 years on that, but Huron River Watershed Council. That was pretty involved with the water board and Huron River Watershed. That's what we are part of. The village drains out Commerce Township into Commerce Lake and out of Commerce Township. So that's a pretty important environmental board. So it was a water board rep on there. So I don't know if Mike Hirsch would like to be on that, but either, what do you think, Mr. McNutt or Mr. O'Brien? And I don't think, I mean, you can make up what you want to on that, but somebody on the water board
I'll give it a shot. I mean, I
Okay.
don't know much about the water board.
Mr. President, Mike Sargent might want to stay on that with his background in education. even though
Okay.
he's not Here, so we can put that on their next water board agenda and.
Well, that would be good then. That
say.
makes sense. Okay, why don't we try that and maybe Bill has a
As an
reprieve on that
alternate,
one.
Possibly.
Or- Yeah. Audit Finance Committee, that was our treasurer, administrator. Bob Malik was on that. I'm
I'll do
assuming-
that
Yeah.
one.
Still want to be on that. Bill O'Brien would like to be on that. I think that'd probably be good. I think you've got some accounting,
A little bit.
finance,
I'll be on that one.
and Mr. McNutt.
And also, didn't we have Ron Cumbo on there as a,
Yes, we did as a citizen rep and Brian Lindman also.
Yep.
And
Right.
I did talk to, I texted Ron this evening and he thinks he's gonna remain on that. I have not talked to Brian Lindman, but he had no problem last time. He's a kind of a finance guy too. But Audit Finance Committee, we really haven't had a whole lot of need to have that board meet either. Correct, Mike?
right?
So that's great to have those guys on that then, so. And finally, we have the beautification committee, which was Kathy Carrico, Mark Germany, Debbie Malbin, and Julia Miller. And
Oh,
Mark, I believe
Yep.
that would stand as such still.
yes.
So I think we've actually gone through the whole thing without a whole lot of hiccups, so.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the positions as read, or as agreed,
Committee
sorry.
assignments as approved.
Second.
I second that, Bob Malik.
Motion by Duff, second by Mr. Malik. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
Yes,
McNutt,
Yes,
O'Brien,
Yes.
Giramini,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Nedrow.
Yes, okay, thank you. That wasn't too bad.
Mr. Nedrow, Bob Malik here. Can you let our host know that since this meeting started, I've been trying to get on and it still won't accept me? And Officer Marasco, before he left, said my pad was fine. It was on the other end.
Yeah. Well, Rob's
So I'm just
Yeah,
so
Bob.
they're aware,
Yeah,
I've been
we,
trying to get on since we started.
Yeah, we readjusted some settings behind the scene and you should be able to get in now, but I understand if,
Well, I've been trying every 5 minutes.
sure, okay.
I mean, I just tried again and I still can't get in.
Okay,
We don't have much meeting left.
No,
So,
no, well, I'm just,
for
again,
next
this
time.
has
so
happened to me
quit
more than
trying for
once.
this month, Bob, and we'll start next month. Clean
Yeah.
slate, hopefully,
Well-
okay?
Can I request the village to buy me a camera for my computer? That was a joke.
I understand. Okay, set topics for the November 25th work session. That's
I
the
make a
day
motion
before
that we,
Thanksgiving for everybody.
I make a motion that we forgo it.
Second.
I second that.
That was, Jeremini beat you on that one, so that was a motion by
Okay.
Duff, second by Jeremini. Any
Well-
discussion on that?
Yeah, I think the foregoing is good idea because our new administrator is going to take over a day or two prior to that, and it would sure be tough to start beating up on him and things. Let him get his feet wet, go to a regular council meeting, and then December we'll probably cancel his work session again because of the holiday. So come January, we'll all have our feet on the ground and be able to go about it the proper way.
All right. Thank you for the explanation on that one.
Well, I don't know if it's an explanation. It's my feelings.
I understand that. Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please, to cancel November 25th.
Malik,
Yes.
McNutt,
yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Giramini,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Nedrow,
Yes,
Duff.
Yes.
I believe we have no pending business. So update from Chief Ellsworth.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to the new board members, council members. Last month was unbelievably slow, and when I can say that it's unbelievably slow, that's a good thing. We are obviously on the way up with the COVID counts in the village itself. Is getting kind of dangerous out there. We're starting to. I'm getting feedback from camera. We are starting to reduce our contacts again and only doing the necessary traffic enforcement as needed in case of a endangered. I don't know where that feedback's coming from, but it's coming right back through my ear. It is. We're trying to minimize our contact with citizenry is what it's come down to. We have a very large, in fact, I will put something out probably by the end of the week. I foresee another shutdown coming real soon. It is, it's gotten to the point where we're getting close to 7,000 in the state a day now again. So that's more than we've ever had before, and it's starting to continue. We're probably going to see some serious shutdowns coming out of the state legislature because they're going to realize that it's a dangerous thing. We've lost some of our residents to that. I know we responded to 2 medicals today involving COVID. We used to go to 1, now we're up to 2 a day. So just so you're aware, it is still out there, and it is very it's very concerning for me because my officers are out there dealing with the public every day. So we're trying to reduce that. But last month we didn't have any accidents, knock on wood. Our ticket activity was low and very little criminal activity, as you can see from your monthly reports. And for those of you new on the council, if you peruse through my monthly reports and you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions or direct you to where you can get the correct answers. So again, thank you very much. Welcome to the club, the usual Wednesday night club. So, and feel free to contact me.
Thank you, Chief. And No Shave November is going okay, I guess, huh?
No Shave November is starting to, this is 1 week into it, or 9 days into it. So yeah, you'll see the guys out there. We're actually so I can explain a little bit. We're raising money. It's called Pigs for Wigs. What we do is we help provide wigs for those less fortunate, the kids that need them for when they're for medical reasons, or they have alopecia, or being treated for cancer and they've lost their hair. So, and they do adults also, but we're trying to do what we can to help the kids.
And Tom Selleck's well on his way, I saw.
Yes, he is. Yes.
Okay, well, thank you. Update from treasurer and interim last administrator, Mr. Kondek. So that's your last one tonight, I guess, was administrator again. So
probably, yeah. Just a couple of things, Mr. President. First of all, we did the annual fish stocking in the lake on October 30th, Friday before last. We put a good number of largemouth bass into the lake. They're between 5 and 7 inches. Some were maybe a little bit smaller than that. They all entered Wolverine Lake via the boat launch. They won't be, it'll be years before they get to capturable growth, or if you will. And we understand that the original recommendation was northern pike. Our source for fish did not have any this year. Everybody's favorite second choice is usually walleye. They didn't have any this year. So 2020, its implications and things that have happened this year go all the way down to fish stocking. So the bass are there. There was a little bit of consternation expressed by at least one or two water board members who don't like the idea that the DNR can sanction bass tournaments. The guys we put in the lake won't be keepers for, as I said, a couple of years. In addition, it's normally a catch and release thing, and we'll try maybe somehow to talk the DNR out of having some of these tournaments like Cash for Bass, but I don't think we really have much of a voice in that or much of a say. The other thing is the Michigan Municipal League has a training program. It's something to the effect of, I just got elected and now what? I think that's the title of it. I think it's a couple-hour virtual webinar. I'm going to distribute the information to all of you. You're all set up with wolverinelake.com emails. The village will cover the cost. I think it's about $65 for a seminar, usually a couple hours, virtual, obviously. And I've heard good things about it. They do offer it perennially and have for years. So because it has staying power, it must be pretty good. That's all I got for you.
Well, hey, thanks again for stepping in for administration there.
I could interject for a second.
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
I found this on the Michigan Municipal League, which is about, I think it's about 90 pages, maybe 120, 140. It's got, can you see it?
Yep.
It's not backwards. It's the handbook for general law village officials.
There's a slight distinction there.
I believe that's in the I believe they give that to you in that training. I believe that's correct. Is that Mike?
I'm not sure.
I think I saw that on there.
But you're a home rule village, though. You're not a general law village.
Oh, we're not?
There are, yeah,
You're
there are
a home rule
distinctions there.
village, it's called. So
Okay. So this
you have
doesn't apply.
so there are two different sections of the Michigan statutes. One applies to general law villages, and the other section applies to home rule villages. There are a few like remnant sections of the general law village section that apply to home rule villages, but most of it's different. So they do have home rule village literature as well. They have manuals for home rule village officials.
Right. Okay.
They have a really good online, you can get all their materials online too.
When you say they, Jennifer, you're talking about Wolverine Lake, right?
I'm talking about the Michigan Municipal League.
Okay.
Which is
Right.
what he was saying, where he got that literature from.
Yes. So how do we get the average citizen who doesn't give a crud about this stuff to look into the rules that we are to abide by?
Well, I mean, so the rules that you're abiding by are part of the Michigan statutes. So they could look there. They could look at the Michigan Municipal League website. You can do a Google search and find out Michigan home rule villages, and it'll give you a pretty, Wikipedia can probably even tell you at this point what you're subject to, but from a layman's standpoint. But as an elected official, your best resource is Michigan Municipal League or the state of Michigan itself.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's move on to council comments. Thank you, Treasurer Conduct. Let's go to Mr. Malik.
Well, let me start off with Mr. McNutt, Mr. O'Brien, Mr. Giamatti, and also you, Brian. Congratulations on your election results and joining this council. I wish you all nothing but the best. There will be days you'll say, why did I do it? And then there'll be days that you say, I'm glad I did it. And then also I'd like to thank the departing council people, Mr. Sinkowitz, Mr. York, and Mr. Scott. They all put their time in and really worked hard at giving their best qualities to this community. Not everybody agreed on everything all the time, but I think as you new people will find, your heart is in it for your community, and it's a thankless job, and I wish you all nothing but the best. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Bob. Mr. Duff.
Well, Bob said it pretty eloquently, so I'm gonna just say ditto.
Okay. Mr. Dumont.
Yeah, Bill, Mike, I'm glad you're on board. We will try to do the best we can, and you'll find that this is an unusual board because we do try to do the best we can collaboratively to make progress and improve the village. And you guys are representative of that because you grab the votes outside of council incumbents. So great thing.
Okay, we'll move on to Mr. McNutt.
I just want to say, I have first meeting as council member. It's obvious and apparent that everybody here has a love of their community and the village, and I'm really excited to be a part of that, and I want to contribute and join everybody. So I'm one of the new guys here, but if there's something that is needed or any questions, just I'm here. But it's nice to be in the presence of everybody that really loves their community.
Thank you. Mr. O'Brien.
Well, thank you for your well wishes here. And it was a good first council meeting, and I really hope that we can all do some great things together. So look forward to it.
Thank you. Mr. Giamini, I didn't forget you.
Thank you. Thank you to the voters for coming out and voting. And it was great to see that we actually had 8 candidates. First time since I've lived in the village that we'd had a competitive election. And I look forward to working with everybody here and coming to resolutions on whatever comes before us. And then I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, no matter how it looks this year, because chances are it's probably not going to be quite like it always was. But thank you, and look forward to working with everybody.
Yep, thank you. I also want to thank everybody for running, and look forward to working with each and all the new council people as well as the ones previous. And I think it's going to be a good council. I really feel good about it. So I want to welcome our new administrator, Dave Gilliam, who's going to be starting on the 23rd of November, just prior to Thanksgiving there. So we will see him officially our December meeting at this point. Safe hunting to everybody. Any of those hunters that are going to be going out. Hopefully I will be leaving the end of the week, but hopefully everybody remains safe and scores if they happen to go so. And finally, safe, especially safe and a happy Thanksgiving to everybody this year. So it's been a tough year, and doesn't look like we're going to be through this stuff that quickly, but hopefully next year we'll be in better spirits. So with that,
if I may.
Yeah, go ahead, Tabitha.
I just wanted to say this will be my last meeting as interim clerk. The new administrator will be starting, and he will have the clerk title. So thank you, council. Thank you for your voting confidence in me for being the interim clerk, and I will still be in the office helping to handle the day-to-day business of the village.
Thank you for serving as our
Thank
clerk
you.
again.
Yeah.
And Mr. President, I just wanted to add in, I'm not going anywhere, but
Okay.
you need to announce that your meeting this coming Wednesday is canceled, because that's how it was noticed.
Right.
So for the public.
Okay. So we don't need a motion on that. We just need to notice it. Is that correct?
That your regular council meeting scheduled for Wednesday, November 11th is canceled.
Can I ask a question? Can we post that on our village signs?
Yes, I will post it on the village signs tomorrow.
And the website
great.
too would be prudent. So, okay.
And-
Well, I think
and
that I
Tabitha-
heard that clearly that we're canceling the Wednesday meeting, and that this was the regular council meeting that took place for that Wednesday meeting that wouldn't occur. So,
Correct.
okay. With that, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
adjourn.
And
Second.
next regular council meeting will be Wednesday, December 9th at 7 PM. That would be on a Wednesday, so. Everybody.
And hopefully it'll be live in council chamber.
I'm not gonna hold my breath on that one, but
Yeah.
Bob, I hope.
Bob,
I'll
you
get your
definitely
iPad
have a
fixed by
voice
then.
for doing it over the phone.
Well, you know what? I'm glad I got unlimited call because I just spent an hour and 30 minutes on this call.
Bob, I hope you get your iPad fixed for next month.
Wait a minute, it's not my iPad.
Mike and Bill, you see what you're up against now? This is the fun you signed up for.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, thank you.
Can you do a roll call?
President?
Wait, roll call.
Oh, we need a roll call vote on the,
Yeah.
sorry, almost screwed that one up, didn't I?
Yep.
Roll call, please, to adjourn.
Jeremini,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Nedrow,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Malik,
Isn't there something else we could talk about? Yes.
McNutt,
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
That's it. Thank you, everybody.
All right, good night all.
Looking forward to next month.
Thank you, everyone.